saying, don't call girls bossy. And you can be considered bossy in the movie. And what do you think about being a role model for girls out there who want a female on screen who helps out her co-star or who's a guy?
Scarlett.
Yes. Yes, you are. Big old man. You know, I think, you know, Natasha is a bit of a reluctant superhero. You know, she doesn't necessarily have this really kind of strong golden moral compass. You know, let's not forget she started out her career as, you know, essentially a mercenary. You know, and so, you know, I don't know if that makes her a role model material, but she, you know, in some ways I will say, you know, Natasha, I think one of the things that's very, you know, that's attractive to me about the character is that she uses her feminine wiles, you know, as kind of a part of her job, but she doesn't rely on, you know, her sexuality or, you know, kind of appeal, physical appeal to get her, you know, get the job done. You know, she's extremely smart. She thinks on her feet. She's a leader, and you know, and she is I think has a lot of foresight, and those are all qualities that I think it's, you know, wonderful to celebrate for young women. And of course, it's really rad for me to have my kids, you know, my friends' kids, you know, kind of look up to that character and, you know, dress up like her as Halloween and, like, you know, play with the boys and be rough. And, you know, I always say, like, the widow always wins, and it's true. And that's a nice sense.
It's not an easy Halloween costume. And there are plenty. It's changed everything for me. I mean, not just what it's enabled me to do outside of these movies, but it's so comforting knowing that you're making good movies. It would be a nightmare to be trapped in this contract when you're making films that you're not proud of. But Marvel has the Midas touch, so every time you suit up, you know that you're making something of quality. And it's rewarding on every level. So thank God I had the right people in my life pushing me to make the right decision.
Next question is all the way.
I love you two guys together in this film. I love the camaraderie.
We just got along, and so it was very easy having, you know, just kind of a repartee with him off set, and I think that translates on set. And it's just he's, you know, you can tell right now the guy is life, he's energy. You know, on set, in a press conference, as a character, he just brings a certain type of spark that you know you need on film and you need off as well.
James, I agree.
Do you picture, I mean, both of you guys as a family, you know, raising a little Captain America?
What a strange question. But I like your ability to think on your feet. No.
That was a contingency question. No, I don't think that's the dynamic of Cap and Black Widow.
All the way in the back.
It's for Chris and Sam, but any of the other actors or filmmakers who want to answer this, please go ahead. Tell me about working with the great Robert Redford.
He's amazing. It was pretty intimidating that day because he is a living legend. But it's always such a treat when someone you look up to that much lives up to the expectation. I mean, he very easily could have come on set and hijacked the film, not just as an actor, but given his past as a director and his experience, he very easily could have taken over. He showed up with the utmost professionalism in his lines. I think the first day we filmed, we shot till 1 in the morning, and he stuck around for my off-camera stuff. I mean, it was like it was his first movie. So he really is such an example of what it is to be great.
Sam?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I met Robert in a lot of different situations when I was going to Sundance when I was a younger actor, when he had a more active part in that process, and I missed an opportunity to do several films with him over the years. And that morning when I got there to work with him for the first time, we sat down, we talked about a lot of different things. We talked about golf, we talked about life, we talked about movies. So by the time we got on set, it did look like we spent time together or had some past in some darker and more medieval state of counterinsurgency. And it was a great experience. He's everything Chris said. He's professional. He newest lines. He wanted to do it. He wanted to try them different ways. He wanted to, you know, make things better. And that's part of coming into the Marvel universe. People come in and they see what we do and they kind of want to blend into it and make things better. And as we continue to do it, things do get better.
All the way over there.
For the role, it seems to be pretty intense. How challenging was to do those stunts?
Well, I think I come off of doing a Broadway run, which is pretty much the most physically challenging thing you could do. And I felt like if anything was going to prepare me to have stamina, it was that. So everything seemed like a piece of cake after treading the boards for that long. And I think I was in pretty solid shape from that run. And then, you know, it's just maintaining it, boring, get up at 5, go to the gym, you know, all that stuff that's horrible. Not glamorous at all. And train like a dude and then eat a bunch of lettuce and whatever. That's all it was. Nothing fancy.
Okay. How much, if any, influence you have on these other Marvel films that come out of different studios?
It's limited. It's very limited with the other studios. Mainly for 2 reasons. One, because we're quite busy building our own cinematic universe, and also the contracts are very is what it is. Those contracts are very old with the other studios. I expect they'll be.
What went through your mind when you first read it, and what excited you the most about the Winter Soldier?
Gee, that's a lot of questions. Well, I'm always excited to do more, and Nick seems to grow with each, you know, film. And I realized when I was reading it that it was a bit more than just, you know, a comic book feature. That it had intrigue, and I'm sure a lot of young people are going to be surprised when they get in the movie and watch it that they actually have to think about something other than what's going on. You got to figure out a plot, and that always excites me. And it was, it's always a great joy to know that I'm going to be back in a space with all the people that I enjoy working with and being able to do the things that I did on a very small scale when I was a kid. I mean, this is, you know, a dream come true. You sit there and you read comic books when you're a kid and you wonder if there's a world like that. You grow up as an actor and they start making movies like that and you wonder, how can I get in that movie? And then next thing you know, you're inside it and you're kind of like, yeah. So, you know, they're all pluses there.
Here in the front.
I don't know, for me it was actually
The opportunity to do something, you know, it's an interesting challenge to keep coming back to this character. And I think one of the, you know, I have the good fortune of playing a character that's sort of evolving with each kind of installment that you see her in. So, I mean, of course, I know, I you know, going in to play the character, of course, I have to understand who this character is and where she comes from and have this sort of rich backstory. You know, and I think the exciting thing is just scraping away a little part of that each time, you know, to reveal, you know, kind of a small part of the bigger picture of her. And it's a very complex character, which is wonderful for me because over the period of time that I've played her, you know, I've also grown. Obviously, it's been like 6 years. You know, as you do in your career, your work, your life. So I feel that the story is sort of becoming, the character story is more enriched as my own experiences are.
Waiting.
It's exciting when you pick up the shield.
it always feels like it gets tighter. I'm supposed to get more comfortable. I feel like this got worse. I'm not joking. That really happens. But you know, it's they always make improvements on it. And it is the thing. Once you get a good sweat going, it loosens up quite a bit. It's exciting. Again, a lot of it has to do with the fact that you know you're making good movies. If you were disappointed with the previous film, it's going to be hard to mentally prepare yourself for living in that thing for 4 or 5 months. But since Marvel just can't stop making quality movies, it's exciting and it's humbling and it's an honor to jump back into it. No matter
some roles not so femme fatale. Have you think about that? Do you think is something can happen with you?
I don't know. I've been in the industry for 20 years, and so the way that the roles that have become available to me change as I grow older. As I kind of transition through life, I'm sure that will continue as I grow older and transition through life. I mean, that's part of, you hope to have a career that has longevity and, and reflects the kind of, the experiences that you've had, I guess. It's what we all hope for, men and women alike.
You're still femme fatale.
Thank you.
So I'm sorry, but this has to be the last question. But
Don't forget to visit us online on Galatview.com. Click like on YouTube page.